look, man, any woman can be a sex expert. Just sleep around. The only time a woman is really a sex expert is when she's talking about women being selfish about sex. That's really all this comes down to. And what you guys will see here, with her interview with Kevin Samuels, she is very, very good at articulating and making sleeping around seem like something it's not. Okay, she's very good at making us think that sleeping around is not bad for women in terms of long-term relationships. Now, I'll go ahead and say right up front, is women who sleep around, is it bad? It doesn't matter. And to be honest with you, when women sleep around, is it bad that women sleep around? I don't know. Sleeping around for women is not good. It's not bad. It just is. However, when it comes to trying to lock down a man for a long-term relationship, men, we are biologically hardwired and programmed to look upon women who have a high body count with a certain, we give them the side eye. Is it wrong for us to do that? I don't know. Us judging women because of their high body counts, it's not right. It's not wrong. It just is. And the reason I say that is because it's part of our biological makeup. Okay? And I want you guys to understand this. Nobody had to tell us as men with their mouths. Nobody had to tell men that, hey, women who sleep around are bad for relationships. We don't need statistics or studies to tell us this. And the reason we don't need statistics and studies to tell us this is because, again, it's part of our biological makeup. So is sleeping around for women wrong? I don't know. But I do know this. I do know this. Women who sleep around make bad relationship partners. Let's continue.
Men misunderstand or misinterpret about women and sexuality.
I think that men have the number one thing is that there's a very big difference in that women don't have sexual desire, or women aren't horny, women don't experience sexual desire and fantasies the same way that they do, and as a result, women are supposed to be the defenders of monogamy and the protectors of purity.
Who the hell?
And if she's not, then she's not a good woman.
No, that's not at all true. If a woman is non-monogamous, if a woman is not sexually pure, if she's not sexually discriminate, she's not a bad woman. She's not a terrible woman. Listen, man, I've known many 304s in my life. I have. They're not bad people. They just have sex with men indiscriminately. But what Shanna's doing here is she is shaming men for our biological desires. When she says, well, men think that women who sleep around are bad, what she's really saying is she's shaming us for biological. It's the same way that overweight women like to shame men for not being attracted to them. We're not attracted to overweight women. We're just not. And Myron says it all the time. Men, we are consistently shamed for things we have no control over. We don't have control over male pattern baldness. We don't have control over our height. There are certain things about us, genetically and biologically speaking, we don't have control over. We don't have control over what we are sexually attracted to. Yet, women constantly shame men for how we're designed. We judge women on things that they have control over. We judge women on their body weight, completely under their control. We judge women on the amount of men that they slept with, again, 100% in their control. Right? So when it really comes down to it in terms of between the sexes, we judge women on things that they have control over. Women judge men on things we do not have control over. And guess what? Women don't have control over what they're attracted to either. A lot of guys like to complain, oh my God, women like the alpha chads and this and that. That doesn't make them bad. Oh my God, women like men with money. Guys, this is the way women are biologically programmed. This is the way women are biologically programmed. Yes, there are women out here who have unrealistic expectations. We know that. Is it bad for women to have unrealistic expectations? I don't know. But I'm not going to shame women for what's not under their control, biologically speaking. They want a man who has money. They want a man who's in great shape, etc., etc. Okay. But on the other hand, if you don't meet the criteria of the men that you are attracted to, then I got nothing for you.
whereas a man has the space to be the
Here we go.
gamut of things when it comes to a sexual person. That they can be overly sexual, that they can be underly sexual. I mean, maybe that's not true, because an underly sexual man often, of course, also will get criticized. But
Oh, well, there's a little bit of truth. There she goes. She's talking about men being, and basically what she's talking about here, guys, she's talking about the 304 stud conundrum. Women are shamed for sleeping around. Men are admired for sleeping around. And I've said this before, guys. This is not a double standard. Pardon me. This is not a double standard. This is a different standard. And the reason why it is a different standard is because men and women are different.
And as we were kind of talking before this began, listening to my mother and her friends talk about sex and sexuality, I learned quickly that that wasn't true. Then I always refer back to my college experience when I had a sorority use my condo, my townhome, for a lock-in. And I listened to a whole weekend of how these women were talking about. I was shocked. Because if a man likes a woman, it's like, hey man, what happened with you and old girl? The less we say, the more we like you. And people are like, oh yeah, you kicked it. Oh, okay. We don't ask further questions. Women, I noticed they would size, taste, this, that. I'm like, oh, I was shell shocked.
you said that was the encouragement for you to study sex.
Well, I'd already started. I got the Kama Sutra when I was a preteen. It was further confirmed when I was at school.
Let's be clear. I want to make something abundantly clear. A female who is a sex expert is akin to a man who is an expert about abstinence. A female sex expert is a misnomer, guys. A female sex expert is a misnomer. I'm being told that the volume's a little low. Okay?
And when I went back to campus on that,
there's no such thing as a female sex expert, and I'll tell you why. You can't be, becoming an expert at something, it requires you, how can I put this? It requires you to really study something that you don't have access to, right? Like, for example, let's say I was a diesel mechanic expert, right? In order to be a diesel mechanic expert, I have to go to diesel engine school. That's something that I have to put effort into. You understand what I'm saying? Being a sex expert as a woman doesn't require any effort because sex comes so freely and easily to them. You guys understand what I'm saying? Shan Booty she calls herself a sex expert simply because she has had a lot of sexual partners. And she says, oh, I've been to classes and I've been to this and that and the other. Let's make another thing clear. The only thing that female sex experts teach, the only thing they teach as a female sex expert is teaching men and women to please women. You understand? Female sex experts teach men and women to please women. That's it. The Kama Sutra in this position and that position. Sex for men, it's pretty simple. It's very, very easy for a woman to get a man off. There's no such thing as a woman who's good at sex, guys. It doesn't in order to be good at sex for a woman, look good and know how to sound. That's it. If you are sexually attractive, and you know how to move and moan and groan and all that other kind of stuff, then you are considered to be good at sex. Guys, I'm here to tell you, there's no real skill in getting fucked. It doesn't take any skill to lay there on your back and get pounded. It doesn't take any skill to learn how to moan and groan. Just watch a few prawn movies and you'll figure it out. To get a man off is very easy. Insert the penis into a warm, moist hole, thrust, repeat. That's it. That's it. Who has to go to school? Who has to go to school to learn that? Oh, I'm an expert at making a man orgasm. Every woman is an expert at making a man orgasm. All you have to be is there, and you don't even have to. You really don't even have to be that good at it. You don't have to be, there's no such thing as a woman being good at sex. There's no such thing as a female sex expert. So when women go to school and Kama Sutra and all this other sex, no, all they're talking about is prolonging sex for women. I've said this many times before. The less you care about a woman's needs in bed, the more she cares about yours. Women derive more pleasure pleasing you than you pleasing them. Okay? Yes, does it help that they have orgasms every once in a while? Absolutely. That makes sex a little more enjoyable. But if a woman is having sex with a man and he never orgasms, guess what? She doesn't think that's good sex, guys. As far as she's concerned, that's bad sex because he's not getting off. Women go absolutely bonkers when the man that they're having sex with isn't orgasming. They're not. Guys, I have been dumped by girls because it takes me too long to go, which goes to show that women derive so much more pleasure from getting you off and getting themselves off. So when a woman says she's a sex expert, literally, all a sex expert is a woman endorsing sexual selfishness for women. I don't need to be in any crazy positions to get off. I don't. Devin and I, we've had sex hundreds of times. She makes me orgasm almost every time. Almost every time. Guess what? I maybe make her orgasm 15, 20% of the time, and that's probably a liberal number. But she derives more pleasure from getting me off than getting herself off. If she gets me off and she gets off, hey, that's a great day. If I get off, she doesn't get off, still a great day. If she gets off but I don't, the world stops. So again, I want to make this very clear. A female sex expert is nothing more than a female who endorses sexual selfishness for women. Women don't need men to get off. They've got toys and all kinds of other stuff. They don't need men to get off, guys. They've got plenty of toys for that. No, the reason why women like having sex with men is because they like pleasing men. That is the female mindset.